why does it look like this? It's not supposed to look like this. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to get my flawless foundation and base makeup. This is kind of all over the place, but I'm basically just showing you guys how I do like my everyday makeup or my go-to makeup. Basically, this is just what I do to get that flawless, poreless looking skin. So if you guys want to see that, then just stay tuned. All right, so we're going to be using the Becca primer. This is the Ever Matte Poreless Priming Perfecting primer. I have very oily skin and I have large pores in these areas here. I don't know if you can tell, but I do. So the thing that I like to target is those large pores, and then also I like to target my oily T-zone. And so what I normally do is I'll work this into the skin, just getting a little bit on my finger and kind of just massaging it into those areas that I'm worried about, focusing on these large pores here. And then what I'll do after this is I'll go in on my chin because I get oily on my chin. And then a little on my nose and a little on my forehead. This is just to help seal the pores. This is to fill in the pores so that when we put our foundation on, it has something to sit on and we don't see our pores through. This is how I get like my flawless, like, no matter if it's super full coverage or anything, or no matter where I'm going, like this is how I do my base. I like a base, like I like a flawless base, like you don't see anything, especially my pores, because it's just so unflattering. The next thing I'll do is I'll go in with a powder. Today I'm using the Mercier translucent powder. Everyone knows about this powder. And then I'm going to go in with a dry beauty blender, picking up a little bit of that powder, literally just a little bit. I'm going to kind of just like set in those pores. This is kind of just to reinforce like this part. I want this to be as matte as possible, and the parts of my face that I struggle with the most creasing is normally around here, and I get a lot of moving around on my nose, so that's kind of like where I like to set so that all around my foundation really doesn't go anywhere. I don't know if this helps, but my makeup lasts all day. So, I mean, I think it helps. Next thing I'll do is I'll just kind of wipe that off because I don't want there to be a white film on my face under my foundation, because that's not cute either. It won't blend properly. So you want to make sure you kind of buff off the excess powder. All right, so off camera before I started the video, I used this e.l.f. clear mascara that's used for lashes and brows to brush up the hairs on my brows. I like a more fuller, fluffier brown now, so I always use a pencil. So you can use any pencil that you have, obviously. This is the Maybelline New York Brow Ultra Slim. I've been liking this a lot, and this has lasted me the longest out of all my pencils, so I would recommend this 100%. kind of got them blended out to like where I like them. I'll go in with a concealer. Today I'm using the NARS concealer in the color Macadamia, and then a concealer brush. And I'll take a little bit on the back of my hand, like this. Just a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll take a little bit on the back of my hand with the brush and a little bit of product, and then I'll go in and I'll clean this up. At the bottoms. Now we're gonna do the top. I'm gonna just use the leftover concealer that I have on the back of my hand and on the brush to do this, because I don't like my eyebrows being highlighted on the top. I'm just using this to simply conceal this part of the brow to clean it up. Blend this out. Those are my brows. I like to do my brows first. I never used to like to do my brows first, but I've learned that I like them to do them first. Now we move on to our face. For the face, we're gonna be using this Maybelline foundation. It is the Dream Urban Cover Foundation. This is basically, has SPF 50 in it, and it's basically meant to work against pollution and all the crappy stuff that comes with being in the environment. So this is, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's very liquidy. So I use, it's hard to gauge how much I actually use when I do this, but it is full coverage, I'll tell you that. So normally I'll just do like a little bit there, a little bit there, and then I'll see where this takes me. Before like a few weeks ago, I would conceal my dark spots, but they've kind of like faded enough that I can cover it with this full coverage foundation. So you guys will see how I do that and how I build this product. But I'll just go in with a blender this. So I'm seeing with this first layer that I'm getting some good coverage. 100%. Like I love this foundation, but I'm really getting good coverage, but I do have a few dark spots and problem areas that I'm seeing need a little bit more coverage. So because I didn't put a bunch, that's why it's kind of giving me that. But I'm gonna put a little on my finger just so I can put a little bit here, kind of put a little bit more on here, because this is like my problem area right now. I don't know why I attract pimples on this side of my face more than on the other side of my face, but then sometimes it'll switch. That's kind of how my face works. Like I'll just get pimples on certain parts of my face. I'll just put, I don't really like to put too much foundation on my forehead. Like honestly, I sometimes feel like it looks weird. So you will see that as a pattern in my tutorials. I prefer to do cream contour before I do my concealing under my eye, because I like to use the concealer under my eye to kind of clean up that contour too. I'm kind of on the lookout for a cream contour right now, so if you guys have any recommendations, please let me know. This is the one I'm going to use for now. The concealer I'm going to be using is the Instant Age Rewinder Eraser. I'm sure you guys have seen this. This is a classic. I got this from Target. I'm just going to use a little bit just to dot it on my face. I don't know how I feel about this, you guys. I don't know. I got this on a whim, just to get it because I needed something. But I normally, what I'll do for cream contour is I'll kind of go a little bit above my cheekbone and I'll just dab a little bit of product. I'll put some under the chin, like so. And then I'll go in and put some on my nose. Now, the thing about nose like contouring is you can clean it up with concealer. So this is gonna look messy and muddy, but I promise you when it comes together, you'll see how and why I do what I do. So contour, I'm gonna be using this Juvia's Place concealer in the shade 17. Basically, I need to clean this up, and this isn't brightening at all. It's more so it's just concealing, but I need to kind of clean that up a little bit because I don't like that. So I'm just gonna blend that out. So I've kind of cleaned up the contour a little bit. We're gonna go back in with powder contour, so don't worry about that, but we're gonna just do the nose now. So I'm gonna go back in with that NARS concealer in Macadamia and go down the bridge of the nose like this. And then what I like to do is I like to go down the sides of my nose as well. Part is my favorite part, which is concealing. You guys, I thrive off of this concealer. This NARS concealer has changed my life. I've always used drugstore products because that's just always been what I can afford. But when Jackie Aina recommended this NARS concealer many moons ago, once I got the chance to buy something like this, I was like, I have to. So normally what I'll do is I'll let this set on my face for a little while just to for that full coverage. Like I was saying earlier, when you leave this on concealer, when you leave concealer on your face, it dries. So to get the most full coverage, the trick is to give your concealer about 1 to 2 minutes, a second to just dry a little to get the full coverage that you're looking for, if you're looking for full coverage. And then you blend it out and you get just a flawless under eye. Look at that, you guys. Already we haven't even touched powder. Like, this is just foundation and concealer. We're already looking so flawless. I'm telling you guys, this concealer is everything. If you're gonna spend extra money on anything in the makeup store, I would highly recommend getting trying out this NARS concealer. Now with that being said, it is time for powder. Like I used before, I'll be using the Laura Mercier powder today, and I will be using the powder puff. I gotta kind of have a trick where I put some of the, I have to have all of this in my hand so that I can beauty blend, powder puff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna show you guys actually, so you guys can know what I'm talking about. So I put a little bit of powder. I'll put enough powder. Ooh, it's a lot. Okay, so I'll put about enough powder in there for one eye. I'll put the powder itself, the other thing, down with the lid in my hand. What I like to do is I like to make sure, I'm gonna get a little bit closer for you guys. So what I like to do is I like to make sure that I'm not creasing. So I'll do this with my face, right? I'll blend and then I'll powder, so watch. This is just to make sure we aren't creased. And then, and then you press, don't rub, press, okay? I crease so bad, so this is very important for me, this part. So I don't know if you guys are able to see that, but that's kind of how I have to do it. I don't like to go into my beauty blender with a, I don't like to go into my powder with a wet beauty blender. That used to be the trick that I use. It's no longer the trick I use anymore. After I had just like a weird experience with my makeup, and I was like, why does it look like this? It's not supposed to look like this. So I kind of just bake it for a second. So I'm gonna do the same thing to the other eye. Also focusing on these pores, because pores are another problem that I have when it comes to makeup. So making sure you're pressing that into the pores, pressing it into the skin. You don't want to just pat it on there, you want to press it and make sure the powder is enforced in the skin, like so. And my nose is starting to drip. If you have allergies, you know the tea. When that happens, I'm gonna be really, really real with you guys. So I'm not even gonna edit this out. When I have this problem of like my nose dripping or something, because it's that time of the year, what I'll do is I'll dab and press down really hard. And I'll kind of wipe away whatever toilet paper kind of sticks, just so I don't have to deal with foundation moving or anything like that. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll leave this on for a little while, but I don't like too much of a white cast or anything like that. And Laura Mercier doesn't have those issues, but it's not good to leave it on for too long. That's just a thing. You don't leave powder on for too long. So I do want my eyes to still be baking. So I'm gonna try and wipe away this excess stuff while using the excess to kind of set the rest of my face. Use my sponge to kind of try and blend some of that powder in. So next step is to contour the nose with the powder. It kind of got, the cream contour kind of got lost. You can see it a little bit, but it kind of got lost in the powder and all the things that I was doing. So what I like to do is I like to go in with this e.l.f. bronzing quad here. I've been reusing this for the past few months and I have been loving it so far. I like to go in with the lighter color, and then I like to touch on the darker color too, because it is summer and I'm getting a little bit darker, so I use both. But what I'll do is I'll take a fluffy angled brush. I'll take some powder on my brush, tap off whatever excess. I just put a bunch of powder on there, so that's why it looked like that. And then what I'll do is I have a mirror right here, so you're gonna see me looking down at the mirror, but I'll go along the bridge, along the sides of my nose with a light hand, and I'll start to powder contour. This is where my contour really thrives. I don't thrive in the cream contour area when it comes to the nose, just because I just feel like I'm just not that good at it yet. I'm still learning. But once I kind of got the product where I want it, I kind of like tilt my head, and then I'll go down, but blend it down this way. So blending it down this way, but also bringing it out and diffusing it, so you guys will see. So it's kind of like a line, but I'm gonna kind of diffuse it out so you guys can see. My cat is watching, so you guys can just watch what I do. So I blend it out, but I focus it more going this way. This is just to kind of diffuse it out. We're gonna clean it up with powder. You guys will see that too. I don't know, I do this a weird way. I don't know, I feel like it works for me, so it's fine. But we'll do the other side of the nose. So that's kind of about where I go with that. So I really like how that looks. So going back in with the Mercier powder, I got the Morphe contouring sponge. And what I normally like to do is I'll go in with the pointy side down dry, and I'll go down the bridge of the nose. And then what I'll do is I'll go in with the flat side, and I'll get some on the sponge like so, and I will So I like to take this time to kind of re-bake this part of my nose, and then to also kind of clean up that contour there. And then I leave this on basically while I do the rest of my face. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna bronze up the face using that same e.l.f. bronzing quad, using those same colors more. I will be using the dark color too, because I kind of contour a little bit. I'm gonna be using an e.l.f. fluffy brush. This is the pointer powder brush. I'm gonna kind of go in and start to bronze my face up, because a lot of that contour kind of got lost, and a lot of the color in my face was put out because of the powder. So kind of just focusing this product here. most of my face on except for blush and highlight. I'm gonna just go ahead and wipe off this powder like that. You guys see, it's a contour, but it's not super intense. I don't like to have a crazy contour. So then I'll go in with my first round of spray after this part. Today I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Spray and Set. And we let that dry. All right, so we're gonna finish off this look. The next thing we're gonna be using is another e.l.f. quad, but this is the blush quad. I like to go in with this color, especially when I'm just going for a more natural look. I want a little bit more color on the face, but I don't want it to be super pink and blushy. I'm not a pinky blushy person, but I like to just put a little bit of that on my face, just to add some color back in. I'm just using a regular angled powder brush. It's like, use whatever brush you have. This is kind of just where I'm at. And then I like to go in with some highlight. We're using the a Wet n Wild highlighter and the color 319B Blossom Glow. The brush I'll be using is the Featherlight highlighting brush by e.l.f. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of that on my brush. Lips. I'm going to be using the KKW lip liner pencil in the color Nude 2 to line my lips. That's the liner. I was gonna do some gloss, but I'm gonna go with a more matte look because I've been doing gloss a lot and I want to go for something more matte. So what I'll do is I'll go in with the color Velvet Teddy by MAC in the lipstick form here, and I'll just blend out the liner. These are the lips and this is the look so far. Let me fix myself up so you guys can see my vision. All right, you guys, so that concludes this makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that it was easy for you to follow if you followed it, and I hope that it was informative for you. If you have any further questions, please leave a comment down below. If you have any feedback, please leave a comment down below. Like I've said before, I am still learning this whole YouTube thing, so this is all experimental for me. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me, and thank you so much for just staying tuned this far. I really do appreciate you guys, and with everything going on in the world, I just want to share some positive energy with you and hope that you guys are taking care of yourselves and everything like that. So if you guys like this stuff and you want to see anything like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you know every time that I post. And until next time, I'll see you guys soon.